Breaking immigration news, the Supreme Court overnight issued a 7-2 decision granting an emergency injunction that bars the United States government from deporting certain detainees from a Texas location until further notice. This comes at the tail end of a previous decision by the Supreme Court, the one that you see behind me, which had essentially allowed the government to continue conducting the flights, but at certain conditions, and specifically requiring the government to allow enough time for the deportees to ask a court if the removal was lawful. In this latest early morning decision, the High Court granted an emergency request to block the federal government from carrying out the deportation of a number of Venezuelan nationals that are being held at this northern Texas facility that you see behind me, which is not covered by a string of federal court orders that apply to New York, Colorado, and the southern part of Texas. Attorneys for the detainees argued before the Supreme Court that the government had not fulfilled its obligation to provide enough time before deportation, and in fact submitted evidence that proved that in certain cases detainees were given only mere hours before deportation. In one specific case, one of the detainees was given a document written in English for him to sign, though he speaks no English. Several federal courts, including the one that you see behind me, have issued orders barring the federal government from carrying out deportation in compliance with the Alien Enemies Act, but those orders are only applicable and valid in those locations. And what is most concerning to me is the fact that the federal government decided to then funnel prisoners from those locations to locations where those orders do not apply. Two justices, Alito and Thomas, dissented with the order. This decision by the Supreme Court is just a temporary injunction. It means that the deportations are paused until the cases play out in court. But this, to me, is a very concerning turn of events for the administration, because it shows to me that by moving prisoners from one facility to another, the executive is really going out of its way to make sure that they can deprive deportees of their due process rights.